Hello viewers, today we are going to introduce our chief guest. He is none other than Dr. ROMESH JAPRA, who got recently awarded from President of United States of America, Joe Biden, for Lifetime Achievement Award. And he is the founder of Americans4Hindus, the political PAC. And let's know the reason behind this organization. And we have some questionnaire. So let's get introduced. So, sir, how are you doing today?
Great, thank you. All the viewers, namaste.
So yeah, so based on I know this is a very important time. We are getting closer to the elections. So now Americans4Hindus is doing a very great job all over the United States of America, and where we have a lot of chapters in the country and a lot of volunteers behind him, and because he is the leader and he established a temple 41 years ago. There we can understand how strong he is supporting the Hinduism, and how strong he stood behind the community. So let's start with the questionnaire. So can you share your journey and what inspired you to establish Americans4Hindus?
Absolutely. First of all, just like you said, there's a lot of excitement in the air. In the United States of America, just like happened back in Bharat, at the election time, everybody was excited. What's going to happen? Who's going to win? I think the same suspense is here as well. And this time, the beauty is our Hindu Americans are also getting a lot more excited, as in the past they have not been. They've been pretty complicit in the past. And of course, we do our work, whichever profession we have, and we want to excel in that. So we have built our identity as IT professionals, doctors, scientists, researchers, educationists, business people, and we have made our mark in the United States of America. We have contributed a lot, and as a matter of fact, we are number one earners in the United States. It used to be Jewish community, Japanese communities, but this time it's the Indian Americans who have excelled, have become a number one income per capita income. So we are very, very proud of our identity. But I've gone through this journey, like you mentioned, with the Fremont Hindu Temple for the last 41 years. When we had even a hard time to get the permit for this temple, we had to buy a church to make a temple. And then we started our cultural empowerment journey after our religious and spiritual empowerment, and make sure that children can get the values, the heritage, our philosophy, our ideology, our civilization they learn through these festivals. So we have thousands of children who participate in performing arts and dance competitions, folk idol, and many, many other activities which we do through our India Day parade, as well as Festival of India, Diwali, Holi, Janmashtami, a lot of festivals which we've been hosting. But in my opinion, if in this country we do not empower ourselves politically, our fate can be just like what happened in Uganda and what is happening in Bangladesh now, currently. So we are not immune that nothing will happen just because we are number one, we are so and so, we are the CEOs of Google, Microsoft, Adobe, and 100 other companies, and 500 top companies. So I don't think people are going to look at us that way. They didn't look at when Idi Amin came, he kicked everybody else out. Luckily, they had some UK, passports, and they could go there. And now there's many of them are here. But we want to be proactively become strong politically. So that's why we have put together Americans4Hindus.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, what is the core mission of Americans4Hindus, and how does it aim to support the Hindu American community?
Absolutely, I think you hit it. The core, but I explained to you, is to protect, preserve, and promote our Hindu culture. So we are so proud of our values, our philosophy, our heritage, our civilization. We want to maintain that. And that's, like I mentioned, whether through temples, through centers, or through organizations. There are almost from every state. There are 10, 15 different organizations. So of course we are promoting the culture, but we will not be able to protect it. See, if politically we get thrown down, children don't think we are Hindus anymore. All these temples will close, and we'll be banned from performing all these events. And so make sure that to protect them, we have to empower ourselves politically. So that is one of the main goals, but the objective is to involve and engage as many Hindu Americans into political system. So by engaging them, we are empowering our community. And so we're going to start from the grassroots level to all the way to the president level.
So, look, keeping the current situation in the world in mind, we would like to ask, like, can you elaborate on the importance of protecting the safety and the religious liberty of Hindu communities in United States?
Absolutely. Like I mentioned, fortunately, the Constitution of America states very clearly that there's a freedom of religion as well. So you can be any religion, whatever you have. So that is the under democracy. But in many countries where in the name of the democracy, and then even though Iran and Pakistan and many other countries claim that they are democratic countries, but they have Islamic Republic of Iran, Islamic Republic of Pakistan, that's the full name they have. And even in China, Russia, North Korea, they claim that they are democracies, but they are autocrats, dictators out there who have been elected. And recently in Venezuela, even though they have elections and then they can rig these elections, Maduro, by hook or crook, wants to remain as a president, and he's bringing socialism, Marxism, communism, and the whole country is going to rubbles. So same thing can happen in any democracy. It can happen to the largest democracy, India. It can happen to the oldest democracy of America. So we need to protect the democracy with our Hindu values, which are very much aligned with our American Constitution. And we want to make sure those values of truthfulness, innovation, collaboration, peace, and the family values, liberty, independence, all these great values are America gets benefit, that a lot of other democracies get the benefit of it. And we are in a good position with our identity, like we mentioned, that we can imbibe those into the mainstream American culture itself.
Nowadays, a lot of attacks are happening on Hindu temples, like vandalism and everything. So, keeping that in mind, like, how do you approach public statements regarding the violence against Hindu temples and symbols?
Absolutely. I think, the word we use is Hindu phobia, just like anti-Semitism for Jewish and Asian hate for Asian people. So Hindu phobia, which can constitute a lot of things, like one of the things you mentioned is the vandalism in temples and worship homes, and even some of these centers out there, even some of the statues like Gandhi statue and other statues have been vandalized. So similarly, there was a casteism, which they're trying to isolate Hindus, that we are the most castiest people, and that we discriminate on caste basis, which may have happened a lot of years ago, which Britishers exploited and tried to divide us. But the same thing they're trying to label us over here. So and the other thing they're doing, even violence. Some of the places they have people have been shot just because they look Indian or they look Sikhs or anything like that with a turban, and they've been shot. So even the violence has happened. So all these things come under Hindu phobia, and so even though most of our people still don't think that we are being discriminated, we are being targeted, but it's happening. So before it goes too far, I think we should be careful that these things are happening. We have to act upon it. As a matter of fact, many of my white friends or Caucasian friends tell us that it's done by your own people. It's the Khalistanis or radical Islamists, or even there's another group, Equality Labs, a so-called Dalit group, which is a little segmented group. So these are the groups who are doing it against Hindus. So it's not, the general white Caucasian people out there, and especially our Jewish friends tell us, because they've been facing the same thing. They're actually looking up to us now. They think you are much better off than they are, and we are trying to even have alliances with them to help them out. So I think we have to look into it more deeply and identify the problems and how to work with it. I think most of our legislators, congressmen, and other people are very, very sympathetic to this. They have made statements in public, and similarly, we are trying to put together a caucus, which we started last year. So we have 26 congressmen. We are calling it Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, and Jain American Congressional Caucus. So this caucus, we will be having summits, deliberate these issues, and come up with the bills against Hinduphobia, against vandalism, against casteism, pro-immigration, pro-education. So we have a lot of issues which are very close to our heart, and a lot of concerns which we have has to be addressed. So and these people will help us. And once we have more than 100 members of Congress, I think the bill will go through the Senate, and if the president is also pro-Hindu and pro our causes, then we can definitely make it into a law as well. So that is our long-term goal, but these things will happen. Our people are coming along to participate and help us out.
So coming to USA-India relations, like what role do you believe American Hindus can play in strengthening US-India relations?
I think that's the bigger picture. Like when we started, exactly what our mission and vision was. The vision is to actually take care of, protect, and promote the Hindus and Hindu values all over the world. So our Hindus all over the world, including India, have been targeted. Not only in Bangladesh or Fiji Islands or Indonesia or some of the other places, but also in India. Fortunately, our current government is pretty much pro-Hindu, and they are also being labeled as nationalist, fascist, fundamentalist, and all these things by some of these evil forces, including America, and that affects us also, because if they look bad and India looks bad, we all look bad. So we come from Bharat, that's where our roots are, and that's where we belong, and our children and grandchildren will go there because they have Hindu roots, and that's the only country where our Vedas and Sanatana Dharma has born, and then we want to make sure that we can go there. So for sitting here, once our organization becomes strong, I think we can help Hindus all over the world, including India. And in the past, we have worked with the actually India Caucus, with the Congress, where Indo-US relations have been very important to us, bridging, especially on the defense side, on the economic side, the trade side, which is still continuing. And because if the economy is good, of course everybody else looks good. So otherwise people can convert, all kind of things happen. If there's a lot of poverty, people, first thing is roti kapda makan. So if you cannot get these things, and then fourth thing is education, and if these four things don't get, people will convert easily, and we don't want those kind of things happen. So we want to make sure that our economy stays strong, and that's where this Indo-US relations or Indo-European relations are very important, because only with the trade and having this corridor of economic corridor, we can stay prosperous and become rich, and can help the rest of the world also. India is on the move, and we want to make sure that this momentum continues. Even during the pandemic, COVID pandemic, India was the only country distributed the vaccination to all over the world. Even America did not do it, and we gave it to almost 59 different countries. We distributed it, so I think we are really in good shape that way. And Indo-US relations should benefit, and that's going to help Hindus in India, who are 80% in India are Hindus. And of course, we always take care of our minorities. Even the other 20% will be taken care of. There are Muslims in India are much better off than in Pakistan and Bangladesh. So I don't think they want to go to those countries. And similarly, whether they're Christians or Jews or Zoroastrians or any other minority, they all been taken care of by a current government and by Hindus as such. Loka samasta sukhno bhavantu. We want to make sure everybody in this world is happy, prosperous, and peaceful, except some of the adharmis and terrorists, and those are the only ones who should be eliminated.
So, yeah, coming to attacks on leaders. So, can you discuss the impact of attacks on Hindu public officials and how Americans for Hindus addresses this issue?
Can you clarify that again?
So the question is, can you discuss the impact of attacks on Hindu public officials and how A4H addresses this issue?
You mean the public officials, those who are Hindus, they call themselves Hindus, and of course, there are some evil forces out there. I don't think the general public or mainstream Americans really worry about it. But unfortunately, there are some evil forces who are trying to dismantle Hinduism in the name of Hindutva and all the stuff, and they say dismantle Hindutva. And one of our Congresswomen, Tulsi Gabbard, became a victim to that, unfortunately. And these people, there's a Peter Frederick, he had put this article out there that she was being funded by RSS, and there was a magazine Caravan in Kerala where they put this article, and even though there was no truth to it, that she got any money from back, and they said they got it from fundamentalists and from fascists, and she got in trouble, and eventually she has not, run again as Congresswoman. But now she's back in action, and she's been supporting President Trump. And similarly, many of our Hindu candidates who declare themselves as Hindus do get attacked by some of these forces, and whether they're radical Islamists or they're red forces or green forces or from back in Asia, or it could be some evangelist extreme right people from here who have to want to promote their own religion. They are very narrow-minded and not as pluralistic and inclusive as our Hindu culture is. So they are the ones who will try to, those things are going to happen. That happens to every group out there. It's not only Hindus. You declare yourself as a Muslim, as a Jew, or even as a right-wing Christian, they get attacked the same way. So we have to live with it, and we have to get stronger and stick to our principles, believe in our values, and run with these sanskars that have been given to us.
So what specific initiatives does Americans for Hindus support to benefit the Hindu American community?
So, like I said, our culture, we are very, very proud of it. And right from the birth and when you grow up, our values are being imbibed, children by their parents. And then when they go to school, we hope that some of these values should continue, not only just for our Hindu community, but also the rest of the communities can benefit from it. And so in the education classes, unfortunately, a lot of misleading knowledge is there in the books, in the textbooks, in the primary school books, showing Hanumanji only as a monkey and with the snake charmers and all kind of things still continue to exist. So we have modified many of them. We will continue to modify them. Even the hate speech in the schools, even in the colleges now, we have become too much ultra leftist, and they try to equate us with the white supremacist and the Hindu fascist and all this stuff, and then they have tried to do that. So we want to separate ourselves. Being a minority, we want to make sure that we get, unfortunately, people only listen to the victims, not to none who have done very well. So since we do have Hindu phobia existing, we want to make sure that we can separate ourselves and get the fair share. And so from that point of view, there's a lot of ways we can help in education, immigration, and our people when they're sitting on the table making policies. I think they will take care of it. But if you are only, engaged in your own personal well-being, your own and on your own family's prosperity, big home, big cars, big food, big vacation, then unfortunately you may have the fate of what happened in Uganda and Fiji Islands.
Okay. So coming to political influence, like election campaigns, like I would like to go, like what criteria do you use to select the candidates for your support? So we have seen a lot of, you almost over 80 people you are endorsing and supporting from Americans for Hindus. That is really a very great thing which everyone is discussing all over the country right now. And so how do you extend your support?
Absolutely, I think to vetting them is very important. So fortunately, we have a lot of ways we can do that. We only support the candidates who are Hindus or pro-Hindus. So pro-Hindu, we send them a questionnaire where we have 15 to 20 questions which relate to our issues, our concerns, and if we satisfied with those, that's a good start. After that, a lot of people who know them personally from their constituency, we talk to them. If there is a way to have an interview, then we do that. We in the future we're going to have candidate forums as well, just like the Women League, Voter League. They do the forums and interview them, and 3, 4, 5 of them, whatever candidates, and then we see who we want to endorse. And if we have only 2 candidates, both of them are pro-Hindus, like at the president level now, Trump is pro-Hindu and Kamala Harris is pro-Hindu. So half our people are pro-Trump and half of them are pro-Harris. So we have endorsed both of them. So we will do that also. It happens in the mayor in Milpitas. We have 2 mayors running. Onlin, who's a Buddhist, great, and we also have Carmen Montano, who's mayor and quite pro-Hindu. So we have endorsed both of them. So those are the criteria we use, and this way we can really get to these candidates that pro-Hinduism is very important to us. So, and they look at it and they research about it, and hopefully they will continue to support us in the future once they get elected.
And we had you encourage lot of youngsters to get into the politics. So how is Americans for Hindus working to increase youth involvement in politics?
I think great question. I think the whole initiative which we took was to benefit the next generation, so the youngsters. So we had started something called the Hindu Rajniti Academy, where we recruited youngsters. Last summer we had about 50 of them, and some of them got excited, got inspired, motivated, and one real example is right in our backyard here, Renu Nair, who's only 18 years old and passed the high school rather than going to University of Michigan with one of the best students. She decided to go to the community school locally and running for the school board. We call it Fremont Unified School District. And she is definitely going to win. She got a lot of support from Americans for Hindus, plus many other elected officials. So we got her endorsed by mayors and assemblymen and many other council members, and she is looking very, very good. So this is just one example. We want a lot more of these kids and youngsters to come forward, get involved and get engaged, not only just campaigning for pro-Hindu candidates, but also run for it. And these are the candidates. She came with the background of the shakhas of HSS. We have hundreds of shakhas here, and they're teaching a lot of our own culture, our Vedic culture to these kids. And we know they already have those values and those sanskars. And if they run for as political candidate, I think they're gonna really be very good to rest of the people also, because our culture is the most exclusive, most pluralistic, and we really value and respect the dignity for everybody out there.
So
Even the White House is now celebrating Diwali function. So Diwali is becoming very important. So kids are being proud of their own religion. They themselves call
Absolutely.
proudly.
I think the Hinduism has to become mainstream, and people should not be embarrassed by calling themselves Hindu. They should not shy away from it. They should be proud Hindus. And once it becomes a common thing, like Mohanji said, even in the White House, Diwali is being celebrated. We have something called Hindu Heritage Month, the month of October, which we are going through right now. So right from city councils to state levels to the White House level and many places, we are getting proclamation, we are getting resolutions for Hindu Heritage Month, as well as Diwali in the city of Fremont. The Diwali Day, or the Diwali Flag Day rather, they have a different word which we never heard of it back in Bharat, but that's okay. We are innovative all the time. So Diwali Flag Day has become a permanent holiday right here. So all the employees who work for city of Fremont, they can take a day off without losing their pay on that day. So this is very important, and we want to make sure Diwali gets celebrated. This is the most significant, the most important Hindu festival. And just like Christmas is being celebrated all over the world by Christians as well as non-Christians, we want to make sure Diwali, which has a great message of victory of good over evil, from dark to light, from enlightenment to from ignorance to enlightenment. I think those are the messages which we want to give it to the rest of the world. And right now, being all these terrorists being eliminated in Hamas and Hezbollah and Houthis and many other places, even back home, LET in Kashmir and many of these places, some of these terrorists being eliminated. I think that is what Rama did to Rakshasas and what Krishna did to some of those Kansa and the party, and that's what Shivji did and Parvati did to many of those Rakshasas during Satya, Dwapar and Trepar. So we want to make sure even in Kal Yuga, this thing continues, these principles continue, and these people keep getting eliminated.
Our prime objective is respect for Hinduism, respect for Hindus.
So, what are the key goals for Americans for Hindus in the next coming future years?
I think we have a lot of objectives and on a plate, which going to be one by one being addressed. Like you mentioned, this Hindu voter guide has been very popular this year already. Our Hindu, Buddhist, Jain and Sikh caucus has been very popular already, and we want to expand on that. From 26 to we want to have the whole Congress, and then start in Senate, and then we start in states level, state assemblies and state senates. Even in the council people, we can set up once we have 2 or 3 of our own people. So this caucus can be anywhere. It can even start in schools and colleges and in the media centers, corporates, everywhere. The caucuses means that who are pro-Hindu. So just an initiative so that we can continue to advance our causes. That's basically what caucus means. So it's not only there. So it's huge. Once it starts in colleges, Hindus, students, and everybody else will benefit. So that's a big thing that can happen. And of course, a lot of our people are donating right now, contributing towards the political fundraisers all over the country. But the credit does not go to the community. It's only 5, 6, 10 people who will do the fundraiser. They get the credit, they get some personal benefit out of it from the senator, congressman, or even president, and the community does not get the benefit. Once we have an organization like Americans for Hindus, which is for everybody, even if somebody pays $1 can become a member, and even that will benefit. So even people who are non-members, we want everybody even on the road will get the benefit being a Hindu out there. So once we are strong politically, I think the whole community will benefit. So we want to try to get those groups come on board and give the credit to Americans for Hindus rather than taking it a personal credit just for themselves. So it's going to be a tough process because our people, they have a lot of egos, they have a lot of individualistic people, and they want to, we just stand out by themselves. But that's all right. Those are the challenges which we'll have to overcome. We don't feel disappointed by that. We take it as a challenge and overcome it.
So we came to know that throughout the year, in the name of Festival of Globe and Americans for Hindus, you host a lot of events for our culture and tradition. So do we have any upcoming events nearby?
Absolutely. Every other month, a lot of events are happening. Like I said, Hindu Heritage Month is going on. So we have a lot of council people. As a matter of fact, Tuesday, there's a lot of conflict. Sunnyvale wants to give us a proclamation. San Jose wants to give a proclamation. So I want to have all these audiences. Please go there. Go to the meetings on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Attend that, because that is where you can showcase your strength. That's where the mainstream gets to the rest of the people through TV, through streaming, video streaming. So it goes to those cities. So if they see there's a good crowd and Hindu Heritage Month is being celebrated, we can get the message out to the masses. So I think that is one thing. And of course, we are doing most of our events in the open these days. We don't do them closed. So we do that in the form of Mela and festivals. Our Diwali festival, which is this month on 26th of October in India Community Center. We're doing it. Lot of booths. There are more than 75 booths over there, from clothes to jewelry to arts and crafts, everything. And then we have more than 1,200 children who are participating in cultural performances, from folk dances to classical to semi-classical to Bollywood dances, fashion shows, a lot of entertainment, bands, music, folk idol people. So and of course, like you mentioned, even Americans for Hindus. Empowerment, a fundraiser for them, so that we can help a lot more candidates, not just these 80 candidates which we just funded right now. And of course, we have endorsed a lot more than that, and we can in the future fund those candidates, campaign for them, even work against their opponents. See, if you have a lot more money, because some of those evil people who want to dismantle us, sometimes you have to go after them also. So that is Sam Dam Dandaved. We have to use the Chanakya Niti and make sure ultimately we succeed in our mission, so that we can make the whole place a lot more prosperous, happy and peaceful.
Okay. So, so there are a lot of proactive Hindus or pro-Hindus throughout the country, and someone from out of the country who will come as visitors. So, could you please give them a lead, like how to join in Americans for Hindus, so that our viewers can join in our.
Absolutely. I think Americans4Hindus.org, you can just go to that website, www.Americans4Hindus.org, and so there you can go ahead and donate. Like I said, from $1 to $1 billion or $1 trillion, whatever you have, so you can donate. So we like a super PAC, we are a hybrid PAC, we have PAC in many states. So even candidate PACs they call it. So we have all in one, and we can take any amount from you. So you can contribute. Those who want to become volunteers, we call them Karma Yogis. So you can put their names as and also write to contact@Americans4Hindus.org. You can go there. If you just have your phone and you love texting, so you can text word Hindu, HINDU, to 888-444-8774, and just write Hindu, and you will get into that form where you can fill it up and contribute. Just use your credit card, Zelle or Apple or Google, whatever, Google Pay, whatever you want to do, and you can pay over there and become a member. So there's a lot of ways to and we are also looking for chapters all over the country. So if some people are listening out there who don't have a chapter, local chapter, please write to contact@Americans4Hindus.org, and we'll get to you and we'll talk to you and we'll come to your state, your town, your place, and then set up a chapter over there. So you take the ownership and run with it.
Sounds good, sir. And finally, what message would you like to give to American Hindus from Americans for Hindus?
I think the message is very clear that if you want to do something for your coming generation, you want to leave some legacy, you have been very successful, please do contribute towards political empowerment. And one of the ways you can do that is join Americans for Hindus.
So that was Dr. Ramesh JAPRA for you. So thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time. I know this is a very critical time for you, and you're having back-to-back events and a lot of things to do for Hindu community. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.